The purpose of this demo is to illustrate our accelerator we're calling Rebecca the Retention Agent. Now let's provide a bit of background as to why we built this accelerator. Most payers only screen 1 to 2% of their CSR calls on a monthly basis. This process is incredibly manual, and listening and scoring can take managers 10 to 15 hours a month, plus coaching sessions taking another 15 hours per month. On top of that, it's random, not systematic. But with Rebecca, managers only need to listen to the calls that are necessary for their review, with call screening criteria that's consistent amongst managers, saving approximately 80% of their time. Rebecca can review the call transcripts for items of concern in areas such as regulatory and compliance, customer service, safety red flags, and operational risks, with both consistency and objectivity. What would the time savings mean to your customer service team? Well, while you ponder that question, how valuable would it be for customer service leadership to see visual dashboards identifying compliance variations by account and CSR, while also being able to identify flagged conversations by date, giving leadership amazing insight? Well, without further delay, let's see this agent in action. Tim?
On the right side of your screen, you'll see a section containing various AI-generated fields. The first of these is a compliance summary, which reviews the rules your company has set for compliance, reviews the conversation against those rules, and notes if any violations were found. If violations are identified, a category is assigned, and the AI-generated rationale that identifies why the item was a violation is listed. When a violation is found, the record flag for compliance review box is also checked. Next, we have some coaching recommendations. Again, this begins with a quick summary. This summary is more open-ended and not necessarily focused on compliance, but rather just what occurred during the conversation. Next, we see a list of strengths, what the agent did well. This is followed by areas for improvement. Within each of those areas for improvement, an exact quote from the conversation is included, as well as why it was a suboptimal way to respond, and a constructive suggestion for what could be used instead. Next, we see coaching recommendations. These categories are determined by what the AI finds in the conversation. In this case, it identified tone and empathy, clarity in summaries, faster resolution, and customer care. Following this section, we have rubric scoring, which identifies categories that are identified by your business as important. In this case, we use tone and empathy, clarity and communication, problem-solving and ownership, efficiency and flow, and customer experience and outcome. We can assign a weight to each of these, and the AI generates a score and an explanation for why it settled on that score. The score is totaled, and an overall rating is given. Finally, we see a final recommendation summary that offers a brief coaching suggestion based on the call or chat. Let's talk more about this record flag for compliance review box. This allows us to easily create list views, reports, and other analytic tools so we can quickly review the things that have been flagged for compliance violations. Like any list view, we can add whatever columns we want here. We can also use the same checkbox to generate reports. In this case, we use CRMA. We see the total flagged conversations, we see cases related to flagged conversations, our total compliance violations by representative, and we also see the total volume of conversations by each representative compared with the conversations they've held that have potential violations. We can also see compliance violations by account and contact, and a heat map showing when violations occurred, so we can quickly identify patterns. Finally, at the bottom of the page, we see a tabular view containing some of the same information that the list view contains. The great thing here is we can sort just by clicking on other elements. We click on Janet, and we see only Janet's conversations. We click on James, and we only see James's conversations. For managers, this is a great way to quickly review. Now let's look under the hood here. We have a prompt that identifies the categories and rules your business thinks are important. As you can see, although this is an AI tool, these rules and categories can be easily modified by business users because it's just plain text that identifies what are the categories and what rules would potentially trigger that category.